Morning.
Morning.
So, until last Sunday, I had no idea what I was going to talk about today. Until after service, I was talking with Diva, and she's like, "Oh, that's what you have to talk about." So I'm like, "Okay." So to give you a little bit of background, my grandfather passed away about 5 years ago, and it was difficult. The last 3 days were probably the hardest thing I had to do. He was in home hospice with lung cancer. But to give you a little bit of a background about him, he was 87 going on 17. At 70 years old, he was still doing keg stands, chasing women, chasing kids around the neighborhood, acting like a teenager instead of a 70-year-old man. So, needless to say, when he was passing, it wasn't ordinary. So, I was at work, and Donna called me. We live above, it's a two-family house, we lived above him. She's like, "Okay, well, it's pretty much time." So my brother worked with me at the time. I'm like, "Listen, we gotta go." And then we had 3 days of in-home hospice. We had a nurse visit the first night. My aunt is a registered nurse, so she had the second night because I didn't have a nurse for the second night. That second night was extremely difficult. That's the night he should have passed. He was wheezing, gasping for air, having a very hard time, so we figured that was going to be the night. Well, my aunt had to give him his doses of morphine, and it was nearly impossible to get him to take morphine. So his favorite drink was CC and ginger, and in order to get him to take the morphine, instead of the sponge in the water, my aunt put it in the CC and ginger with, "What's it gonna hurt? It's not like he's coming out of this." So she dipped the sponge, and needless to say, he started sucking on the sponge. So she shot the morphine down, and it worked. So that was his last drink. The next day, we finally had a nurse come in, and 30 days of no sleep, with the family coming together. My cousin from New York came, so there were 25 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment building, or house, all sleeping on the living room floor, if we did sleep. But kind of along the same theme of Thanksgiving, everybody came together. We were all together and there for my grandfather. That last day, or one night, it was March 29th. And so we're like, all right, well, he said he wanted to go with a party, so his favorite thing to do at weddings and parties and stuff was after drinking a little bit, he would grab a pair of spoons and start playing the spoons to whatever music was playing. So it was, I mean, we're on no sleep. 25 of us raided his silverware drawer and grabbed spoons. And the nurse probably thought we were nuts because we played the Macarena, and all of us played spoons to the Macarena around my grandfather's bed. Now, I know the nurse thought we were weird because I'm like, "What the heck are we doing? This is insane." But that's what helped my grandfather end up passing, because that next morning he ended up finally taking his last breath. But it was the sense of family and togetherness that really got us through it. So that's it.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. That's beautiful.